Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much indeed for joining this morning's webinar, the Brammer and Grundfos Energy Optimisation webinar. My name is Peter Brown, Pumps and Process Business Manager. Most engineers best know Rubik's for our expertise delivery of industrial products and solutions right across Europe. Today's webinar is in line with our company strategy: advise, apply and advance. Advise, anticipating customers' needs; apply, delivering innovation, products and solutions; advance, creating value and technical advanced services throughout the UK and Europe. Through Brammer and Grundfos working together with our customers, our aim is to realise and unlock energy savings and help to reduce the carbon footprint, which obviously is most important these days, but it doesn't hurt to save money whilst doing it through improving your pump technologies on site and control systems. Presenting today mainly is Alan Gaffney, who is Business Manager UK for Grundfos. Conrad is not joining us today, I believe, but Ian Barnes will be taking over the majority of the seminar, who's an optimization engineer, who in fact does a lot of the work on site with aligning himself with ourselves and our customers. So if I can hand over to Alan to start, and thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Good morning, all. Well, Peter's already done the introduction. My name's Alan Gaffney. I look after the MRO business across UK, Ireland and Benelux for Grundfos. Firstly, thank you all for coming. Hopefully we've got a worthwhile message for you today. Basically, we've had a good level of interest over the past couple of years, and we've built a team to support energy optimization and improve process control on industrial sites. A lot of this has been done in conjunction with Brammer. We just feel that it's worth perhaps sharing this or some of our case studies and what we can offer with a wider audience. So that's what we're endeavouring to do with the webinars today and tomorrow. If we could just go on to the agenda, I'm going to do a very quick overview, introduction to Grundfos, talk about some products and application offerings and who we're trying to target, basically. As far as Grundfos is concerned, it is truly a global company. We have 100 companies worth worldwide, employing over 19,000 people. We've just acquired a water treatment company as well in Denmark, which is another couple of thousand on the headcount. We are the biggest manufacturer of pumps in the world globally and the biggest motor manufacturer globally. Turnover-wise is about £3.5 billion per year. The other interesting point is the company is actually a foundation, so very little is taken out of the company in terms of profit and so on. So we own all the sites, we're self-insuring, and we actually invest over £2 million a week in R&D, which is fairly unprecedented. As far as the UK operation is concerned, if we just focus on we have 6 sites basically, but the perhaps more interesting ones, the yellow ones, Leighton Buzzard in the south is our head office. We have a sales function there and all the usual head office offerings. Birmingham, we have the old OS team, which is our water treatment specialist team. Manchester's sales and service. And we're very proud of we have a site next to the Nissan plant in Sunderland on the A19, where we've got 130 guys. We're building pumps, of course, control panels, package booster sets, fire sets. So it's quite a showcase. So if anybody's interested, please speak to the Brammer guys, and if you want to go and have a look, see as to what we do there, we're very happy to show it off. In terms of who we're targeting in the marketplace, industrial manufacturing applications, processes, of course, and we tend to serve that market sometimes directly via OEM type accounts, system builders, but primarily via distribution or MROs, the likes of Brammer, of course. I won't touch too much on the applications. Ian's going to cover that later. The next thing we'd like to do, we did an interesting job for grants. It was a steam boiler application job. Now this is just by way of example. There's many other applications we can touch, but I think it's a 2 or 3 minute video. So if you will indulge us.
So steam is very important to us in the whisky distillery. We use it for all aspects of cooking the wheat. So a lot of steam generation needed for these processes, very, very high demand. As you can see, we're quite a large site, over 100 million litres of alcohol a year. So we've got quite a few pumps on site. One of the problems we see on site is steam quality. Steam quality is a big issue on site with most sites. The better the steam quality, the less the water retention within the steam. So you get a cleaner actual path into the product or the heating system and better heat transfer. You don't see as much condensate. And this all comes down to the level control, you know, and how good we can control that level within the boiler. The better the level control, the better the steam quality. So anything we can do to cure that at the actual root cause rather than out in the field is a plus. It's funny how this kind of started. The initial problem here was I wasn't looking at steam quality at that point in time. I was looking at a high failure rate on our feed water valves for the boilers. That's what I was looking at. So we were getting about maybe 6 months out the boiler feed water valves. They weren't lasting any sort. Control was poor, which leads to flooding of the boiler. After going down and meeting one of the Grundfos away days to look at the products and that, I actually bumped into Soren and he was showing me a wee demonstration of what I just thought was a continuous control for any sort of look powered. We used them right across site, but when he informed me it was for a boiler, that was a light bulb moment for me, because I'd always thought to myself, why have we got this static control with a feed water valve on boilers where due to modern technology we have 40-20 output running a variable speed drive which will control any sort of level in any sort of plant very, very accurately, very, very stably, and it's so easy to fault find on. So after conversation, this is when it led into this, well, let's look at the application as a yellow belt project for one of our boilers and see how effective it actually is. And from that, the fallout from that is the amount of improvements we can create from such a small change is pretty extreme. We're seeing greater energy efficiency of the boiler, gas usage, steam quality is better, control of level is better, where you can control your accumulation in the top of the boiler. Failure rates, we haven't had any failure rates. That's now been running for 6 months, no problems whatsoever. But then you've got the impact as well of cheaper spares because you're not buying such a big pump. You know what I mean? And then being a maintenance leader, that I'm the one that come and get the demands off the operations to say this isn't functioning properly. And you've got to look at it for my guys as well as the maintenance team. See, it's got to be easy to fix. These guys don't want to be returning and having to fix some day in, day out. It's got to be easy to fix for these guys. So we've ticked all the boxes in my book. I think everybody should be doing this. I can't think of one reason why you wouldn't do it. And if you can think of one, please contact me.
So, yes, his modulating valve issues have gone away because we've taken the modulating valves away. He's got better steam quality, smaller pumps. The other interesting thing was the gas usage. Because the boilers are operating more efficiently, they reduced their gas usage by between 3 and 5%. And when you bear in mind they're spending £1.4 million a year on gas, that was also quite significant. But as I say, this isn't limited to boiler feed. We've had lots of experiences recently with cooling towers. We're basically putting variable speed pumps on cooling towers. We're able to control the pumps on differential temperature. And there's enough intelligence in the pumps as well to operate the fans. I don't know if you're aware, but fans only need to operate when the ambient temperature is over 25 degrees C. So if we can use the pumps to control those, again, huge efficiency, energy saving, perhaps up to 50% and we've seen cases of payback within sort of 10 to 14 months. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Ian will take over now. He's going to talk about a little bit about the range, the applications we can serve, but more importantly about what the actual offering is and how it looks, or how it might look. So I'll hand over to Ian. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Good morning, everybody. So as Alan said, I just want to go over some of the products and the range of products and services and especially the solutions that we can offer, especially when we're looking at an energy optimization point of view. I think everybody will know Grundfos, especially in the building service side of the industry, where we're known for these sort of little pumps that we've seen in our houses over the last 50, 60, 70 years. But as you can see on the screen, there is a much broader range to the products and the offerings that Grundfos can offer. And what our broad range of products do is they can ensure the reliability, efficiency and the connectivity as well. We have something called Grundfos Intelligent Solutions, or iSolutions for short. And this connects all our partners and allows for future intelligence within pump systems. It enables real-time monitoring, as well as remote control, any fault predictions and system optimization that can help us reach quite a high level of performance from the pumps. What the iSolutions also deliver is application-specific solutions, and that can transform the data into insights, which will increase reliability, simplicity and predictability. We all get busy, and we've all got busy lives, especially on sites when you've got numerous things happening. But a lot of the time what I see on site is a lot of the maintenance can be reactive maintenance. So for example, especially when we're looking at pumps, so if the pump's working, then what's the problem? Until it falls over, and then that becomes a massive issue in regards to the process and how that's going to affect the process. So why not look at solutions where we can give you more of a predictive maintenance rather than a schedule than a reactive maintenance schedule, effectively. So this is just a touching point on the products and the kind of things that we can offer. We're not just a building services company. We do offer a substantial amount of pumps for industrial applications. So when we're looking now for what solutions we can offer for the key applications, so we deliver water solutions and digital solutions for the industrial and numerous different applications, as you can see on the screen. We can offer support when we're looking at water treatment, from aeration to disinfection, to a water quality measurement, as you saw on the video, boiler feed, for various types of boilers and systems and makeup. So we're not necessarily saying that you need to remove the feed valve like they did at Grant, but however, it is an option. But if you want to leave that in, that's also an option as well. We'll work with you on your process and what's best for your system. We also look at temperature control, as Alan said, with regards to cooling towers. And with iSolutions, we can not only feed back the pumps, but we can also utilize critical parts of the process as well. So again, not to repeat what Alan said, but we can link the fans back to the pumps as well. So the fans will only run when the fans are needed. Time and time again, we see on sites where how often does your fan run? Oh, it runs all the time. Okay. So how much energy and power is that using? So straight away, you can see that there is a substantial amount of savings. Alan mentioned the factory at Sunderland, where we make our ETO, so our engineered to order projects, as well as some of the booster sets that Grundfos offer. And again, these are great tools. They can offer reliability, especially the engineered to order products, where we can put any sort of filtration or dosing within the one cabinet for you, or the one cabinet basically. So we can put all that in one offering in one unit, and that just gets dropped straight onto site, ready to be hooked up and connected. And as well as supporting that, we can look at wastewater reuse. So again, we meet so many customers where, what happens with that, the water that's just going down the drain, well, we bring it onto site, we clean it and we filter it, and then we use it, and then we dump it again. which is again another additional cost. So is there a way that Grundfos can assist you in capturing that water, cleaning it up, and maybe using it as part of your back into your steam boilers, etc. So there is an opportunity there as well. And finally, just with the wash and clean application, so we have a lot of customers that have this where they wash down their systems, etc. Either hygienic cleaning or process washing or even part washing. So again, we can use pumps and smaller pumps to give you a higher pressure to help with this application as well. So just moving on to the objectives for Grundfos when we're looking at optimization services. So these really are the three key points that we look at when we're looking at optimization services, and how we can help improve the operation and make the site more efficient effectively. As well as I said, the main one is the energy optimization, but we all know that industrial end users are heavy water users as well. So is there a way that we can assist you here? The demand for water is only rising higher and higher. So as the demand rises, probably the cost of the per meter cube is going to rise as well. So why not start looking at those sort of things now rather than leaving it to future when it does start costing a substantial amount of money. So as well as reducing the process, improving the process and reducing the water usage, we can decrease the life cycle of the pump as well, which we can improve that by, as I said earlier, looking at your connectivity and the digitalization. For an example, with an eye solution, potentially we could save using one pump head or changing over one pump anything from 30 to 50%. But it's not just a case of swapping the pump in a like for like basis. It's looking at the whole control philosophy of the pump. So if that is a pump that's on site existing and it's working at fixed speed 24/7, there's no control over that. Can we get to know your systems a little bit better? What is the application? What is the process? Can we use a sensor to make the pump not work as hard if there's not as much demand on the process? And then with the digitalization, we can feed that back to any sort of system, so SCADA or Modbus, so you can get some real connectivity to that and have a real idea as to what the pumps are actually doing and how much energy that is saving. So how do we do this? So there is three options and three solutions that we look at when we're looking at energy optimization. So the first one is that we can do a basic energy check. So this is where we would do an initial walk around on site. We'll look at different applications and different pumps and different products that you've got available on site. And then what we do is we just offer take that, we go back, we find the curves, we look at the maybe the gauges if they're on site, we take that information and then we can offer you a Grundfos alternative to that product. However, what we've found over the years, especially for end users, is that just offering a like for like, there's no real argument as to why a customer should change a pump if it's already working and there's no issues with it. Well, what's the benefit from changing over to another like for like? The obvious one is that some of the pumps up to 11 kilowatts have an IE5 motor, which is the most efficient motor in the market. So there you're making a straight benefit. However, is that the right way to go, and is that the best benefit that you can get? So we offer the next stage, which is an energy check advanced, where you can see the orange sensors on screen. So these are our panoramic sensors. So these clip on and measure the absorbed power of the pump. So what that does is that gives us a real life data capture to exactly what the pump's doing. The amount of these that we've done over the years where customers said, oh, this pump gets closed off on a weekend. So we don't need to take that into account. And then we measure the absorbed power, and whoever was supposed to turn that off on a Friday didn't turn it off. So that pump's been running all weekend for absolutely no reason at all. And this is where we can gather some great information, and also with regards to motor size. So if we can measure the pump of a certain kilowatt, but it's going nowhere near that kilowatt, then is there any need to put a like-for-like replacement in there? Can we look at the curve of the existing pump and see really what duty point that's currently running at? We have a conversation, and if that's roughly the site usage and we're not going to cause site too many problems, then why not offer a smaller alternative, something that Scott says in the video with regards to spares becoming cheaper then because you're not using a bigger pump than is required for the system. And as I say, it's based on real life operating power data. And then we go to our more advanced energy audit. So again, with the initial site survey, we can look around and establish some applications where we feel this would be beneficial to yourselves. We'll measure critical points, critical system data points in regards to inlet and discharge pressure. We can measure temperature as well at this stage as well, to see if we're getting any issues with the temperature of the water within the system. And we can also measure flow, as well as using the panoramic sensors to measure the electrical supply. So what that does then is that gives us a full load profile of what the system is doing, and the system requirements effectively. So again, that gives us a much more better, accurate view of what the system requirements actually are. So can we reduce the pump even further if the demand is not really required for that size pump that's already installed? If some of these critical points are captured on site, we can also use site data as well. So we may only need to measure flow. We do see a lot where flow meters are used just as a point of reference at the pump. Not necessarily is that data trended. So if it's just a case of us, we can also just measure one key point and key aspect. So one of the things that I want to mention about both the Energy Check Advanced and the Energy Audit is that everything is non-intrusive. We won't start coming to site and asking you to turn a process pump off or anything like that. We'll use existing points. So for example, when we measure pressure, we will just remove the gauge that's at the point of the pump discharge, and we will just use that same inlet. So we won't start drilling into pipes or anything like that. We do offer thermodynamic testing, which is for really huge pipe dimensions. However, a lot of the time we can use just a pump audit where we're using non-intrusive. And we also, when we're looking at a pump audit, we'll also make recommendations in regards to pipe layouts and pipe systems. We see a lot of installs where it's not quite the right connections into the pipe, or the pipe is reducing down way too small from quite a substantial size pipe into the pump. So we will also offer you recommendations into this as well, of what the best option is when we're looking at pipe layouts as well. So if we just go over a summary of what we've covered in those couple of slides. So the idea and the objective of today's webinar was to create any sort of opportunities where we can speak with yourselves as end users, and we can come and give you an initial site walk round and see exactly what's happening on site, and if there is any recommendations or potential for savings for yourselves. We like to move away from the culture of a like-for-like replacement. A lot's maybe changed on site within a 10 to 20 year period. We've just done a job recently where the initial pumps were put in for planned expansion of the site and expansion of the process. 15-20 years later, that plant still hasn't expanded, so the pumps are hugely oversized for the application and for the requirements of the system. So we're trying to move away really from the culture of going to a pump that's broken and offering a like-for-like straight replacement, because that's not always the best outcome for yourselves. And then to engage with ourselves into changing out any existing pumps, or looking how we can optimize the pump system and how we can maybe control the systems better. As I said earlier, it's not just about for us changing the pumps like for like. You may have some very large fixed speed pumps on site, but that's not always the case. You've got to look at it from a full is that the best control philosophy for the system? So we look at it from a full system overview rather than just switching pumps out from a like-for-like basis, really.
No, but just to say, well, thank you very much indeed, Grundfos, coming to give this excellent seminar today, and hopefully it's given all our customers some ideas and potential ideas for savings actually on their plant, which I'm sure they'll have. If you look around most factories, you will see loads of large pumps without control that are aged, with oversized, uneconomical motors on. So, you know, a walk round your plant just to identify these areas is a real good idea, and it doesn't cost you anything for us to come and actually have a look. So I think that will be the next stage that we should go to. If you need any help from us at all, you can contact our local branches, and also you can contact myself or Alan or Ian, and we'll be happy to help you out.